Okay, so in this tutorial we're going to look at scanning. If you click into, you've seen the search button, the edit button, and now you've got a scan tab. The scan tab will only appear if you're down as a scanning user. So you have to have the right licensing and your admin has to have assigned you the scanning rights. If that's all correct, then when you log in you'll get this scan tab. So you've got some icons here. This one is to clear the index fields, this one is to scan some files as a batch, and this one is to scan some files or pages as individual pages. I'm going to show you the difference in a minute. Then we've got a drop down here which allows you to insert pages, prepend pages, etc. So let's have a look at this. So profile, the first thing you're going to need is a scanning profile. Now your administrator will set this up in the Enterprise Manager. Under Scan Profiles there's the opportunity of creating new profiles. So in our Click to Scan cabinet up here, when we look into Scan Profiles, there is one there for statements, and there's one for a Canon P215, which is a type of scanner. So you can have whatever you want. So it could be that your profile is designed for single-sided scanning or double-sided or color, whatever you want it to be. But let's have a look. If I hit the scan button here and scan as a batch, then what I'm doing here is I'm bringing in some pages that happen to be in a folder on my computer. But if I had a scanner attached and I had some pages in the scanner, then they would have come in exactly the same. So that created a 6-page document. So as we whiz down through the files, the thumbnails here, we can see we've got 6 pages. If I was to have pressed this button here, which is the single pages, what you'll see is that all of the single pages have come in as individual lines in the hit list at the bottom. Okay, so if that's the case, for example, if you were scanning the Morning Post, one of the nice little tips and tricks you can do here is that if you scan everything as individual pages, you can use the Edit tab over here, and you can select 3 pages, and you can group them together. So those 3 pages are now one document with 3 thumbnail pages there. You could group those 2 together there, and so you've got a 3, a 2, and a 1. If you go into your 6-page document, yeah, guess right. If you click onto, say, icon number 4, thumbnail 4, and click the minus button, we can split that. So we did have a 6-page document, we've now got a 4-page document and a 2-page document, but I could put them back together again by selecting them and combining back into a 6-page. The other thing that's worth pointing out is that these new documents have this yellow icon, which means that they're new. So at the moment they're just on your computer, they haven't moved over to the server. So the only way that they'll go onto the server is if you check them in or F9 them to put them into the server. But at this stage they don't have any indexing information. So if we take that 6-page document there and we're on the Edit tab, we can give it some indexing information like today's date and the supplier of Canon. Okay, now if we save those changes, we're still in this document, but we've indexed it. If we click into the next document, okay, which is a 3-page document, and we'll index that, and we'll say it was the 11th, and it was Canon UK again. But this time I'm going to click this icon here, which is Save Changes, and move to the next document. So I'm already into the next document. I've only got to quickly change the information that was there, and perhaps that one there was from a different date. The other thing that you can do is if you zoom in on an area of the page which makes life easier for you, like the date, and we would change that to the 31st of the 3rd, and save the changes. If we then go back into this document here, we'll see that it's actually saved the changes. So if you're indexing documents, what we call key from image, just zoom into the area of the page that you want to index on and it will hold it for you. Now all of these documents are indexed, we can check them into the server. So we go right click, check in, and as you see the blue icon appears and it pushes it into the system. Now those documents are ready for retrieval. There it is, quick search, there's our 1-page document. Okay, so let's try something else now. Let's put these documents into a different document type of pending documents, and let's scan them all in. So we've got a 6-page document in pending. Now what I want to do is actually add I've got some additional pages that I want to add into the scan. So I can do the drop down and go Append Pages. And now it's just grabbed the same 6 pages and added them in at the end. So I've got a 12-page document. If I went into, say, position 7 or Go back to my thumbnail view. By the way, you've got this opportunity up here to play around with the thumbnail view. You can have it whichever view you like. You can have 2 pages up. You can have thumbnails like this, or image only. Let's go back to the thumbnail view. Okay, we're in position 8, and we want to insert some pages. Now the same 6 pages I've got in the folder have appeared at page 8. Of course, if you're controlling a scanner and you click that button, the scanner will obviously start scanning from its feeder or from the flatbed. Well, if a document's local and you've got this red star and it's not been checked in at all and you've made a mistake, it's no problem. You can either right click and delete the whole document, or you can delete some pages. I want to take 7 and 8 out. Because it hasn't hit the server yet, it's not going to cause you any problems at all. And this time I'm going to delete the whole document. Yeah. Okay, so that's scanning. It's worth having a playing around and setting up the way you want it. The other thing it's worth looking at is the scanner setup icon here. Now there might come a point where you need to override some settings, like you might need to switch on some color scanning. So FileDirector has some built-in settings already, things like auto page suppression, which is basically blank page removal, and you've got a threshold there that you can adjust, which is the amount of kind of black pixels on the page. But if you go into the full scanner driver setup box that you get, say with a Canon scanner, that's where you can turn the color on and off and add in additional features. Hope that's helpful.